your people. So you'll have bounce rates. You'll have people who click your ad. You'll see like so many link clicks, but then the page didn't load all the way from Facebook. So Facebook sees that as a bad ad. Now, what I like to do is I like to measure that time. And there's a website that does that. It's called GTmetrix. And it's a really awesome, powerful website. It's absolutely free. And what I do is I paste the link of my squeeze page or whatever lander page they're coming from on social media, from email traffic, from Instagram, YouTube, I mean, everything, right? Because what that's going to do you is it's going to rate your page. It's going to give you an A, B, C, D, or F on rating. So what I'd like you to do is go to that website, take your squeeze page that you just built, and put your link into GTmetrix and look at what your grade is. Because what that's going to show you is you might fail, but that's okay. We're all failures, right? We fail forward. So with that, it's going to show you how to fix and speed up your page. More than likely, it's because you used really, really huge resolution images and you squeezed it down for the page size. So for instance, you used like a 1200 by 1300 image, okay? And when the page loads, it's actually loading at about a 250 by 500 or something random like that. So what it's having to do is that the page is having to compress that image, but it's still loading at full resolution. So what GTmetrix is going to do is it's going to show you, okay, this image that you have right here on the corner, that actually needs to be size 250 by 500, and you have it right now at 1200 by 1300. So you can use tools like, just Google resized image on Google, and you can come up with a couple tools that are free to resize those images, and that's going to allow your page to load faster. We were in a group one day, and we were talking about how many times have you guys heard where ugly sales pages sell? How many of you guys have heard that, right? That's always like in our market, right? Like, oh man, there's something about those ugly sales pages, like don't make them beautiful, they just sell. Well, I think the real reason they sell is because they load faster. They're fast loading, right? They're ugly. They don't have pictures. They don't have high designs. They don't have high artwork. They don't have high resolution images. They don't have crazy amounts of videos. It's just usually text and like some couple borders, right? But the load speeds are extremely fast. So how many of you guys got grades? You guys get some grades on GTmetrix? Anybody got an A? No? A's, B's, C's? You got C? We get D's and F's. Nice. All right. So that's going to show you, you can go line by line. Some of that stuff's going to be inside ClickFunnels. Some of that stuff's going to be in your website domains where you probably can't fix it. But the biggest thing that you can fix is your image sizes. So check out GTmetrix. That one's a big one that I like to use. The other thing that I like to talk about is the wonderful world of rockets. So what I like to look at is our funnels compared to a rocket. So the last time I was mentored by a really cool guy, and he always talked about these rockets. He was fascinated with them. And he said when a rocket launches off, that let's say it's pointed to the moon, okay? But that rocket, even though pointed to the moon, has to make over 3,000 micro corrections to land on that moon correctly. And if it misses one of those micro corrections, it'll be off by 2 miles. So when you guys are doing your squeeze pages, when you're doing your sales pages, your order forms, I know a lot of you guys want to go and vary it, go different ways than kind of what we're preaching and teaching here for reactive funnels. But I'm telling you, we've put a lot of research, we've put a lot of money in these funnels. So follow the directions we've given you and then start micro correcting or micro managing or micro like switching stuff. Don't go in like major different directions at first, okay? So for instance, with like a squeeze page, switch out a headline and that's it. Okay, switch out a button, that's it. Look at your pricing, that's it, right? Don't just like go and delete your whole order form page and be like, we're going to do it this way. Just those micro corrections will get you to a really, really nice place. As you guys see, we've already had a lot of success in the room so far. We're only on day 2, right? And we want to get everybody successful. So that's a big thing is always remember when you're doing your funnels, when you're looking at, okay, what do I change? What can I do if it's not working or if it's not converting just that 1% or that 2%? And we barely had that $2 margin. It's like, okay, let's expand that a little bit. The other thing was looking at a 1, 2, 3 option. Everybody's going to start buying that 3 option versus that 1 option. So you're going to start selling 3 products. The other thing that I like doing is, let's go to this website really quick. So I'll show this one because this is really cool. It's called readable.io/text. So you guys just got done with your squeeze pages and your sales copy. So what I'd like to do is have you go and take this one down. It's readable.io/text. So we use this through our email copy. We use this through our sales pages, our sales copy, or creative. And what we'll do is we'll paste our copy into this website. It's absolutely free. And what this does, it's really cool, is it grades your language. So we'll be like, this is awesome. And then measure. So this one has a rating of A. So what this wants to do is it's measuring between a reading level. I believe it's like grade of like 4th and 5th grade, right? Or an 8th grade level. And so it's showing you if you're using too big of words for people not to understand, or if this is something that people can read and understand quickly. So we always put it through the test. And then it's going to underline, it's going to highlight things that you probably should change or how you should reword it. Okay, you like that one? So we use that all the time through our email. So before we send out email, that's a big one. Readable.io/text. Cool. All right, so another thing I want to walk through is tower data. How many of you guys know about tower data? A couple of you? 4 of you? Okay. We love tower data because of the information that it's going to house for you. So a lot of you guys already have an email list. A lot of you guys are started using it through Amazon like we teach. But now what I want you to do is take that email list and come over to tower data and have some amazing fun. Let's see. Let's get over here. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to get or receive data on your database. So just from an email address, it's going to tell you all kinds of different data points like age, income, occupation, if they have children, their postal address. So just because you have their email address, more than likely you can get a pretty good idea of their actual direct mail address, of how much their value of their home is, maybe what their telephone is, what interests they have, length of residence, homeowner status. So let's say we had an email list of 20,000 people, okay? And I come down here and it's going to give you an estimated amount of matches to those email addresses. So if I have 20,000 emails, it's going to say, hey, we're going to know about 9,800 of the age group. So I can say, okay, I want to know the age of my demographic. I want to know the gender. I want to know what zip codes. This is a big one for us because we like to see what zip codes are converting. What we like to look at, though, is there is like population conversions. So like Texas and California are going to have massive conversions just because of volume, sheer volume of people. But what I like to look at is clicks for conversion. So people who are purchasing it from us versus just opting in. And we look at those conversions. What we found was it was a total different 5 states. So these other 5 states that are converting higher than these big like traditional states, they're way more optimized for us. So zip code and then household income, marital status, presence of children. So this is great stuff because like for people who are in the grandma niche, man, are the children still in the household or are they gone? Are they living with them? How long have they owned the house for? What's their marital status? So is it a grandma who's married still? We're not. Right? You got grandpa. Length of residence, how long they've been there. Their occupation, if they're still working, education. Are they purchasing or interested in arts and crafts or blogging or books? Can you guys see that okay? So then we have, are they a discount shopper? Are they interested in cooking, home and garden? Like the amount of data is awesome. So the reason I like to look at this is because when we have this data, we're able to plug this into our CRMs and use it as data points to talk to them. Hey, if you're anybody who's like me, who's lived in their house for 20 years, right? Hey, if you're like me and you own a house that's probably within the range of 100,000 to 150,000, that's me. Hey, if you're someone who has the presence of children in your house still, I totally get it. So it's all about that relationship, right? Now he's talking to me, right? Wanted 191 shooters between the ages of 45 and 65, looking to beta test or use our pilot program for XYZ product, right? So we're calling these people out. That commercial a long time ago where, you know, it's like, hey, are you wearing a white t-shirt right now, eating a bag of Doritos? And there's like this guy like in a white t-shirt on the couch eating a bag of Doritos. He's like, yeah, like calling them out, right? We do the same thing through tower data. So I'll show you actually one of ours. This is really cool. So we like to look at this. This is a list of 2,700 buyers. So we want to do a match on these guys. And let me download this intelligence charts. But this is great for targeting on Facebook as well and other means of advertising. because I can go to these guys and I can say, I know exactly who my guy is. So for instance, look at this. Our buyers are between the ages of 54 and 65, massively 65, right? Percent of contacts, 40%, 30%. So I got, 70% right there over 55. So 70% of my market is over 55. Interesting enough, right? So when we're selling high ticket items, we're like, man, these guys got to be in the massive markets, in the 200,000, 300, 400, 500,000 homes. We were wrong. They're in the 100,000 homes. 100,000 homes. So these guys have a $150,000 house to about 200,000. That's 50% of our contacts live in a under $300,000 house, under a $200,000 house. Pretty amazing, right? Home market value. Are they renting? Are they owning? 92% of ours own, so we can talk to them there. Length of residence. They're married. Not very many of them are single. Their income. This was pretty cool. We thought these guys were making 100 grand, 200 grand, or 150 grand. And no, they're making 50,000 to 75,000. So from this data, I'm able to look at who is my buyer, because we uploaded 2,000 buyers to this list and said, okay, these are our guys. So then I can go to other marketing channels. I can go to radio. I can go to newspaper. I can go to magazines. I can look at their media kits and I can say, are your guys my guy? Or if somebody says, hey, I'd love you to rent my email list. Well, what's your tower data look like? Is your dude our dude? Because then you're going to have a higher performance on who and what buy your product. Is this making sense for you guys? Big stuff, right? This will change your life. Yeah, let's get Sid a question real quick.
Just wondering if you've ever compared the data from tower data with uploading your same list to like Facebook audience insights.
So we don't use Facebook. We're not very highly on Facebook advertising. So we have not done that, no.
Because it does a lot of that same analyses and stuff. And since people are active on Facebook and they give away a lot of data, a lot of the metrics that you're looking at are also on audience insights. So I was just curious.
They are, yes. Yeah, we don't usually do that.
Okay.
Because I like to look at tower data. But you can totally do that as well.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I love it. So let me show you guys something really cool. So remember those magazines I had you go and get, right? Some of you guys even brought magazines. I appreciate that. So here's what's here. I want to show you something. We look at, there's a website called, or not a website, a magazine called Guns and Ammo. It's one of our go-to websites. So here's how you're going to look for what we like to look at as media kits, okay, or as advertising, or as people who have the same audience as us. So we're thinking, hey, maybe these guys have the same audience, or who is our audience? So maybe some of you guys don't have emails yet. And so you're trying to figure out, I don't even know who my tower data people are. So how would I find who those people might be? So what I like to do is I like to go to all those magazines we talked about and go to their website. And at the bottom, all you have to do is usually scroll to the very bottom here and go to advertise. And usually they're going to talk somewhere about a media kit, okay? And on that media kit, you really have to put your email in there, or you can download it. And it's usually like some sort of PDF. So in this case, this is through Outdoor Sportsman Groups. They own quite a few things. We're just going to do the Guns and Ammo. So I can go to theirs, and I can start looking over here to the right. They're at a glance. Their circulation, so they have 383,000 of circulation. Men is 87%, 13% women. Their median age is 40. Married is 55%. Have children in the household, 47%. They've attended college. So I can start looking at this. I'm like, wow, this seems like kind of maybe our people, right? Here's the media kit right here, PDF. So this is going to show me some of their magazines, kind of what they're doing, what they're up to. But then it also starts showing their avatar. Check this stat out. This is really cool. So aided brand awareness. So look at this. So TV only, TV and online, TV and magazines, TV, magazines, and online. How their advertising awareness goes out. That was pretty cool, I thought. Then we get into this. So here's their total audience, 11 million people. Again, 85% are men. So that's who I can start looking at. Do they own a rifle? So 71% own a bolt action. 46 own a semi-automatic. So these are obviously different over stats because people own more than one gun. A single shot, a pump action. Do they participate in hunting? Over the past 12 months, of all the people that took the survey, 79% of these people did some sort of participation in hunting. So don't you think that if I'm in the gun world, that I probably should look at maybe the hunting world as well as the second sphere, right? As the second vertical. Absolutely. If 79% of these dudes, the same thing with trucks. They love trucks. They love cooking. Big game is 62%. This is really cool. 53% of the people who took a survey hunted with a bow or a crossbow. That's interesting, right? So not only do they buy guns, they're buying these crossbow stuff. So maybe I can get them through their channel, those other channels. These are great, make great for tripwires. They make good for front-end offers. They make good for continuity upsells, because now I can use this data to kind of interact with my audience at a more superior level. Owns or leases a pickup truck, 55%. 43% lease a sport or utility vehicle, and 8% minivans. No Priuses on there, though. No Priuses. 82% purchased motor oil in the past 12 months. Let's think about that. So we were talking earlier, one of you guys were in here, you're doing motor oil, right? For some sort of cleaning, right? We're talking about that a little bit. So, man, what an awesome little opportunity here. Because now if you're looking at a different market, such as guns and the gun guys who are showing at 50 or 82% are doing some sort of vehicle maintenance. So I'm over here selling guns and ammunition, right? And I know through these chats and stats that 82% of my guys are doing some sort of vehicle maintenance. So if I can go team up with someone who's doing video maintenance tutorials or has a membership around vehicle maintenance, that doesn't cross over me at all, right? But it can make me a lot of money because I can start sending offers around that. Again, with hunting, again, with crossbows, against with all these other little things. Owns a handgun, 92%. Owns a shotgun, 87%. Belongs to a gun club or organization, 57%. So that means that the other percentage doesn't want to be in a gun club, or maybe they can't afford to be in a gun club. We have a local gun club here that we do a lot of business with, and they charge around $900 a year to be just a club member, where you get to go shoot at your will and kind of go enjoy their lounge and kind of do pretty much some kind of fun stuff. Well, what's interesting is if I know that 57% of my members want to be a part of a gun club, and the other piece, maybe, I don't know, maybe they can't afford it, maybe they don't know if they like it, maybe they don't know if they enjoy it. So what we can do as an organization, as an association, is I can start reaching out to the gun clubs of America, and I can say, hey, we have 1,000 people in our database. By the way, these gun club guys, they have an email list of 150 people, maybe 200, right? Not very many. So when you're calling them up and you're saying, I got a list of 1,000 people, 10 times the amount of people they have. So don't underestimate your email list. These guys don't know how to build it. They don't know how to build a fan page, right? When you say you got 10,000 fans, they're going to like it. You're like, whoa, because I have 300 likes on my page, right? It's just all about looking at what assets do you have? What weight does that carry? What power do you hold? And then how can you use it with that other person, that other partnership, right? We've actually started talking about partnerships within a couple of you guys. So I look at this and I say, holy smokes, if I know that that percentage buys gun clubs, I can go out to the gun clubs of America. I can start calling them, which we are, and I can say, hey, by chance, would you be okay if someone walked in with our membership card that you'd give them $100 off your gun club to become a member? Would you be okay with that? If I sent people walking through your door, I would totally be okay with that. Perfect. Well, I just do the list. So then when our massive email goes out, and later this year, it's like, hey, do you live in this state? Texas, Wyoming, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa. By the way, we just partnered up with all these gun clubs, pinpoint them out, that give you up to $100 off or $300 off their gun clubbing experience. Go out and say hi. They're a part of this. They're on the same mission as we are. They know what we're up to. So just because we're sharing our database with them doesn't mean we're going to lose money. We're going to gain money, because then people are going to go out and start using the membership card at different arenas. And then those gun clubs, guess what those gun clubs are doing now? They're saying, how do we sell your association at our gun club? And then we're paying them out affiliate fees. Pretty cool, right?
So you being a list owner and using the crossover between vehicle maintenance and gun owners, let's say I come to you and I say, hey, I've got this offer. I want you to mail it to your list. As the list owner, what are the specific metrics that you're looking at to make a decision on whether you're going to mail that offer or not?
We want to know what the click to order is on it, and we want to see past results.
Okay.
So once you have tested it, we hope that you've tested it to other lists. like ours. So you would pay a premium to go out and rent a couple lists like ours and say, look, I rented this list. It was survivaladdicts.com. I rented this list, Patriots of America. And we sent it to 100,000 people. It had 30,000 people open and it had 10% clicks. And then they did revenue of X. Your list should do the same.
Got it.
Yeah, that'll give us metrics. And then we can say, that might be a good offer or probably not a good offer.
The weird offers come out in the fall. So like you'll end up with like toe fungus offers of people
Toe
trying
fungus,
to,
that's what it was.
they'll try and rent your list with toe fungus, and we don't send that. But I mean, I guess if the price is right, then
If the price is right.
you kind of have to decide on what it's worth, because you're going to honestly piss off a lot of your people by sending that offer. Even though it may be the demographic that they're after, you have to kind of use your best judgment and decide, okay, is it worth me losing X amount of subscribers or losing that connection that I have with my subscribers?
Yeah, absolutely. So one last thing before we go to break is what this is looking like is what you can see is what people are paying for inside your magazines. Oh, you always want to probably cut these rate cards in half, by the way. These are always overinflated. So cut them in half, and that'll give you kind of an idea of where they're at. But then you can see the type of money these guys are spending on a full page ad, on a half a page ad, on a little side ad. And then you can say, holy smokes, if they're willing to pay that, it's either really working, especially when you guys start seeing the ad over and over and over again throughout the magazines, something's working. They're paying some mega cash money to either build their brand or they think that's what they do. And at the end of the day, it's working. And so that's why I like to go and test these offers. I like to call the phone numbers in the magazines and the ads. I like to see how they're pitching it. Is it an IVR, which is an interactive voice response messaging machine? Is it a call center answering? I called a gold offer the other day in a magazine because I was curious on how they're pitching it. And it was a dude at home. I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh yeah, hey, can I call you right back? I was like, whoa, that's amazing. But what's interesting about the gold offers is they just need one guy. Because once they get one dude, he does like $5,000 or $10,000 in gold offers or silver offers, and they're good. So they don't really they're not like us where every number is precious, right? Like we have to convert that number. So it's just different business model.
Did you say you can cut those prices in half?
Usually.
Is there room for negotiation?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Is there room for negotiation?
Established magazine, I mean.
I gave you the book, right? Roger Dawson, The Power of Negotiation.
Yeah.
You should read that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Everything is negotiable. I could tell you story upon story of how I've negotiated things from Walmart. We were in the clearance aisle one time, and Liam has this toy truck that he drives, like those really nice, cool little four-wheelers. And those batteries in those back are $70. And I was at the cashier. We got out the clearance. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this battery is like $70. It's in the clearance. It didn't have a tag on it. And so I take it up to the register, and I was like, hey, I'll take this battery. And she's like, oh, it doesn't have a scan on it. I was like, yeah. I was like, there's $70, but it's in the clearance aisle. She's like, well, how much do you want to pay for it? And I was like, I'll give you $20. And she's like, well, I don't know if I can go that low. I was like, look, I don't know if it works. I don't know if it plugs in. It's probably not even returnable. This is Walmart. So if I could take it home, I don't know. I mean, she's like, okay, fine, $20, right? Boom, gone. I was like, whoa. We were at Home Depot, and this was like right before a snowstorm was coming. And there was one snowblower. Or no, this is not a snowblower. This was a car wash machine. Those things are $300. We're at Home Depot, and I'm bringing this thing up to the cart, and I'm rolling it up, and the lady is scanning it. It pops in $300. I was like, well, that's weird. I said, I thought this was $150 because of some sort of sale or discount you guys are putting on. She's like, no, I don't believe so. I was like, are you sure? And she radios the manager. It's like, hey, we got a question on a power washer. It's $300, ringing up at $300 in the cash register. The guy's thinking that there's some sort of sale going on. Is that the case? The manager's like, I don't know. Just give it to him. I totally made all that up. Like, you just never know. Like, it just takes a couple clicks and you're off on the way. The other thing, though, is the opposite. I was at Barnes & Noble, and I was getting Liam pop-up books. He loves these pop-up books, like those shadows. And this book was $31 at Barnes & Noble, okay? And I bring it up to the cash register, but right before I do, as everybody else does, takes your Amazon app. I scan the barcode. It's on Amazon for $28 Prime, so I'm saving $3. And I take it up there at cash register. I was like, hey, this is 31 here. I can see $28 on Amazon, free shipping, Prime. And the guy looks at me. He scans it. It's $31. He looks at the manager, and he goes, do we price match? And the manager goes, we don't price match. So I said, okay. And I just left the book there, and I walked out. And I went and bought it on Amazon for $3 less. Because What Barnes & Noble was doing was they were training me as a buyer to not buy from them, but to go buy from Amazon. Isn't that amazing? They trained me to go buy somewhere else, which I thought was just obscene. That's what I want to share with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That's one of the stuff I want to make sure I hit because we didn't have time for that yesterday.